Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today it's Friday and it's February the 3rd, 2023. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to extend to you a warm welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find the information here to be informative. And if you're a returning viewer, by all means, thank you so much for coming back. You know, I always say the tide changes so frequently here on these YouTube streets, so you always have to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know, I sincerely thank you for your support. Feel free to like and to share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. And our story today takes us to Fort Bragg here in North Carolina. Take a look at that headline. And it reads, Fort Bragg soldier gets life in prison for killing pregnant girlfriend. I'll provide you with a summary here, and as always, I'll place links to a few of the full articles in the description box. Well, this is another update from Fort Bragg, and this is regarding a story we covered right here back in October of 2021, and it had to do with an active duty soldier working on the base at the time. He's pictured here, Staff Sergeant Alonzo Darden Jr., a married soldier who was arrested and charged with the murder of his pregnant girlfriend. Well, last month, and we're talking about January 2023, almost 13 months after his arrest. Well, there's a final disposition in that case, and the accused has received his sentence. So we'll talk about that. And also, for the first time, his wife has spoken out about the entire incident, and she has verbalized the position she plans to take moving forward. So let's go ahead and get right into it. And just as a brief refresher, it was back around the third week in October of 2021, police responded to what they thought was the scene of an accident on a rural interstate in the state of Georgia. And what they actually found was a car riddled with bullets that had been run off the road. And inside of that car, police found the car was in a ditch, and they found the body of a pregnant woman, later identified as 33-year-old Akila Ware. And sadly enough, the woman and her unborn child would not survive that incident. We also learned that Ware was a registered nurse and a single mother of 5 children, so she was now pregnant with her 6th child. But at that point, we did not know anything about her personal relationship. And police concluded at that time that the woman had been shot while she was driving and ran off the road. And from very early on in the investigation, they were able to determine that the suspect's vehicle was a silver Nissan. And to their surprise, it did not take very long after that to find out that the deceased woman's boyfriend also drove a silver Nissan, and that he was a soldier assigned to Fort Bragg. We also learned that the suspect and the deceased are both originally from Georgia, and that they grew up together. They attended the same high school, and the suspect had maintained a long-distance relationship with the deceased while he was stationed in North Carolina. So once they knew they were looking for a silver Nissan, the boyfriend became the prime suspect. And then it was mentioned that the boyfriend was stationed at Fort Bragg, that he was a paratrooper stationed at Fort Bragg, and that he was married with a family in the local area. So he had a family, a wife and kids here in Fort Bragg, and he had a pregnant girlfriend back in Georgia. And it did not take long for the vehicle and the suspect to be apprehended by Army CID and military personnel and turned over to local authorities in Cumberland County. Now, he was charged with 2 counts of murder and the use of a firearm in the commission of a crime, and obviously bond was subsequently denied. And that was in October of 2021 when he was charged, and there was no public release of information, or I should say I hadn't seen any since that time, but I'm sure there were a lot happening behind the scene, because last month we learned that Darden had pled guilty to all of the charges on January 25th, 2023. And 2 days later, on January the 27th, 2023, he was sentenced to life in prison. It does not appear he had a jury trial, and I'm assuming he probably pled guilty in order to avoid the death penalty. But nonetheless, he did plead guilty to all of the charges, and he was sentenced to life in prison. And after his sentencing, Dargan's wife spoke out for the first time. She spoke to the media. She expressed condolences to the family of the deceased, but said she would continue to support her husband. She said she and her husband built a happy life together with two children, and that's why she's so puzzled about this affair with the deceased woman, and that none of it was making any sense to her. She said she wanted everybody to know that her husband was an amazing father and that he still is, and that's why their fear is so difficult for her to understand. She said he has spoken to his children every day since he's been away. Now, those are her words, not mine, and I will not even judge her. But we must agree that infidelity has nothing to do with the strength of the family bonds. We know that's probably not a good reason why men cheat, and as the family struggles to make sense of it, the family of the deceased are also struggling to try to explain to the deceased five children what has happened to their mom. But one of the things the wife said that's really profound, she said she wanted the world to remember that there are seven kids involved, and she's right. Five kids from the deceased and two kids that the family, her and her husband, had together, whose lives have been permanently changed. And so that's where the story ends. Fort Bragg, former Fort Bragg soldier, pleads guilty to the killing of his pregnant girlfriend and her unborn child, and he has pled guilty. He has been sentenced to life in prison. And that's all I have for you right now. Feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. And by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that right subscribe button. It's on the bottom right hand corner of your screen. And if you click on the bell that looks just like this one, that's a notification bell. If you click on that notification bell, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.